What's going on, guys? Duelim here, back again with another video. And today we're going to be talking about Cosmic Crucible Season 6. That's right. I'm going to give you guys my room recommendations. What have I seen that's going to work well? Also, what's going to counter it. So when you guys see this being put on defense, you'll know what to do against it. Some ideas to keep for offense as well, just as kind of an insurance policy. And interesting things to put on defense to confuse your opponent and maybe get a couple of victories. So if you're ready, let's get into it. Kicking off the conversation, we're going to be talking about what the global rules is, and it's going to be called Symbiotic 6. So this is going to be symbiote characters count as Superior 6 and Sinister 6, which is going to be kind of interesting. There may be some hybrid teams that we can run in there to see kind of what's going on with the hybridization and make Superior 6 work in two separate rooms rather than all together in one, and also make it really, really good. I don't know how this is going to work out. We're going to need to see how we can kind of play into this. My first thought was in room 5 was immediately having two tech characters, Vulture and Mysterio, and putting the 3 HIVEMIND in there might be pretty interesting, but I don't know. It's something that we're going to have to see how it works. The next global rule is going to be Superior 6 characters on successful attack. Bury yourself for 15% of max health. On the test server, this wasn't the most impactful thing ever, but it can get annoying. 15% of max health is pretty impressive. So, and a lot of them take turns really early because they rewind a lot of times on their first turns. When successfully attacked, remove revive once from the attacker. So this means there's been a little bit of confusion about this. This means when you are using Superior 6 and they have a Dormammu on their side, anybody with revive on their side of the field, they have to attack you for them to remove the revive. So in the current season, in current season 5, we have to attack them and it removes the revive. So the AoE from Goblin or the AoE from Lizard would remove all the revives on Infinity Watch or anybody with Dormammu, but it's going to work backwards this time. They have to attack a Superior 6 member or obviously a symbiote member because of the global rule to remove that revive. So that's how that's going to work. And then the last part is going to be on defense. All characters gain 20% max health and 10% damage. And then after each completed attempt and when revived, gain a stack of exhaust. Cancel combats do not add exhaust. So this also applies to when they are revived. So if you look in room 5 again with the tech room, when they ult, they get revived. They should come back with an exhaust. I'm almost positive this is working correctly, but that is how it should work. So now that we know the global rules, let's get into room number 1. Kicking off with room number 1, we're going to be talking about offense and defense. Raider and Skirmisher characters gain 200% extra damage when under 50% health. So the obvious choice here is going to be Extreme because of the Gambit pings when he gets dropped below health. Extreme with Rogue, namely, is going to be really good because Rogue is going to keep everybody else alive with that reflexive taunt. And then if Rogue drops below 50% health, her ult is going to do some massive AoE damage as well. So it could make for some pretty interesting options here, but Extreme being in a different room could also be helpful. So other options for this room on defense are going to be Gamma Dorm, because obviously Dormammu you can run as a Raider as well, and he's a great Raider. Red Hulk, we all know, is an amazing Raider as well. And then you could change some of the other ISOs around to benefit Raider and Skirmisher. Abomination's already a Raider, and then you can make some Raiders and Skirmishers out of Brawn and She-Hulk. So that could be another option for you. The only other option that I see that could work here really well is going to be Superior 6. Superior 6 is going to be under 50% health, a decent amount, honestly, if you're getting them low and can't finish them off because it's a big Superior 6. And I'm thinking about just characters with 200% extra damage, such as like Spider Slayer, who's already a glass cannon and maybe low. This could be a decent option, but I really don't think that Superior 6 is as beneficial here as they are in other rooms, such as 3 and 5, or just on offense in general. As for counters to this room, in room 1, Extreme is still going to get countered by MOE pretty well. MOE is going to be a great choice here. Superior 6 will be a great choice here. And there may be some other lesser known counters just because they're not going to be clearing negative effects like they do in room 5 right now. So it's going to be interesting. Gamma Dorm, we all know how to beat. You're just going to be using New Warriors. You're going to be using Pegasus. All that kind of stuff can take that out. And then as for the Superior 6, I think Super Scroll is going to be the biggest kind of key to Superior 6 on defense, which is why I like them on offense. But yeah, that's going to be it for room number 1. Let's see how room number 2 treats us. Coming into room number 2, we've got Mystic Healthcare. On offense and defense, Mystic characters gain 20% drain per negative effect, which is going to be bleed, offense down, trauma, or disrupted. So that's going to be additive as well. It's 20% drain per negative effect. So it's per bleed, per offense down, per trauma, per disrupted, as the way it's written here. My first defense that comes into mind is going to be Darkhold Quicksilver, because that's going to soak up a Tangled right away. Obviously, we know those counters is going to be Tangled, Nova, Kestrel, Iron Man, Infinity War, Emma, whatever it might be. So not the best defense in general to put in this room, but it's an option. I honestly think if you're not going to put Darkhold Quicksilver here, then just straight Darkhold could be useful, saving Quicksilver for offense or putting him somewhere else. The only other thing that I could see being put here is treating this like a blank room and just doing Gamma Dorm in here, because honestly, this room isn't that beneficial to a lot of different teams other than really Darkhold. And the problem is with Darkhold, we have a good counter for them already. So treating this like a blank room might be a good idea, and just putting Gamma Dorm in here so you don't have to worry about it. Obviously, I talked about the counters for Gamma Dorm before, and we talked about the counters for Quicksilver Darkhold. But yeah, so yeah, that's going to be stage 2. Let's see what we got for stage number 3. Coming into room number 3, it's going to be When It Rains. So on defense and offense, when a positive effect is applied to a character, increase the duration of all positive effects on allies of that character by 1 up to a max of 3. And then it also does the same thing for negative effects. So if you remember from Scourges, I believe this was actually the packs. This is how it's going to work the exact same way. I think it actually was Scourges. This is going to work the exact same way. So teams that instantly come to mind are going to be Infinity Watch, because Infinity Watch spawns with Safeguard, Defense Up, and Immunity, which means the Safeguard will increase the Defense Up and the Immunity. The Defense Up will increase the Safeguard and the Immunity will increase the Defense Up and the Safeguard. So they're going to have 3 turns of Defense Up, Safeguard, and Immunity. So if you guys haven't built your Infinity Watch, I'm not recommending you to, but honestly, Infinity Watch is going to be just a massive efficiency sink here if you're not using APOC to make sure they don't have Safeguard on spawn, or something like Superior 6 to rewind them all to oblivion so they don't have to take a turn. The next team I'm thinking about in here is going to also be Extreme with Rogue. Rogue getting all those positive effects and them stacking on each other if she gets to her special is going to be absolutely nuts. Also, Nightcrawler getting the dodges and the Safeguard and all that stuff getting put on him. If Forge ults, all the abilities getting put on them will increase it all the way again. So a lot of synergy with Extreme here. The other team that you can run here is going to be Superior 6. Once again, they're going to be spawning with a decent amount of buffs, and then Lizard's going to go and spread those buffs around, and then they're going to be gaining more positive effects, and all those are going to be multiplied. So those buffs are going to be absolutely massive here. If you're running into an Infinity Watch, unfortunately, it's going to be a slow fight, especially if it's a big Infinity Watch, because we're not going to be able to do that big time with Eternals counter to do the double taps on Nebula and Gamora right off rip, because they're not going to flip that defense down like they have been. But normal counters for Infinity Watch are going to work. They're just going to last a lot longer than they have been, because they're going to be so much more sustainable. So even at my 900k Infinity Watch, I think I might be running them. As for if you see Extreme with Rogue in here, it's going to be the same counters as to room number 1. I think they might be better in room number 1 because Gambit dropping below 50% health, and those pings are going to be hitting like a freight train. So I think Extreme is going to be better in there. If you are running Superior 6 on defense, I feel like this is the place to do it, honestly. Superior 6 in here is going to have so many buffs, and the only way to beat it is really going to be having Sus in here. And Sus will not gain extra turn meter based off of the buffs getting multiplied the way the room works. So it's still going to be the normal Sus passive. So it's going to be harder for a Super Scroll to get through this. He may need Super Scroll and APOC to get through this. But it's going to be interesting to see what the community finds out to beat these teams. But those are going to be your best offense and best defensive teams for room number 3. Let's get into room number 4. Coming into room number 4, we've got Spiritual Energy, which is going to be on offense and defense, all characters. Anytime a character gains energy from an active ability, they gain 1 extra energy. So what this means is if Shuri gives energy out to, let's say, a random Super Scroll ally, instead of 1 energy, he's going to gain 2 energy. So this is going to be pretty interesting to see what kind of plug-and-play energy batteries we could throw in here. Next rule is going to be when an enemy character dies, ally characters gain 1 ability energy. As of right now on the test server, the only person getting the ability energy is going to be the person who kills someone. So let's say a Hela kills a Greg. Only Hela is getting that energy. We're asking for clarification to see if it's supposed to be the entire team getting energy on a kill, or if it's supposed to only be the person who's actually doing the killing. And then the last rule is going to be ultimate abilities cost 3 more ability energy than normal, which obviously can get augmented by the extra energy that you're bringing in to this. So the 3 teams the teams I see on defense going here is going to be SD Sus right away. Super Scroll SD is going to be on defense here for a lot of people, because the problem is you're not going to have an Apocalypse to come in here and turn 1 ult and Falcon Punch a Super Scroll and he's dead, because he's 3 more energy away than normal, right? So you're going to have energies with Apocalypse being farther away from his ult. You can have like a Star-Lord next to him and see if Star-Lord could take a turn, give him that energy, and then gives him 2 energy, and then he'll start with his ult because he already starts at full. So that could be kind of interesting, a little Star-Lord action in there, but I doubt it because he's so slow and stuff like that. But Super Scroll SD is going to be absolutely nuts in here. That's going to be the main defense I see people running in here. The way to counter that is going to be having Super Scroll on offense yourself. You're going to run the 4-piece HIVEMIND with Void Knight, Gwenum, Carnage, and Venom, and you're going to run Sus into that. All the ability energy coming in from Gwenum doing incredible things and getting extra ability energy and stuff like that. Getting early ability blocks on their Super Scroll is going to be really nice as well. I feel like this team is going to do really, really well on offense this season because they get extra bonuses and stuff like that, and being able to shut down Super Scroll super quickly. I don't really know what else would go in room 4 unless it's, you know, full SD and then somebody tries to bring a new Warriors in here, and new Warriors don't have their ults off start, so you don't have the Cloak ult, you don't have the Firestar ult, you're not really spreading anything with Deathpool. So this room is going to be extremely, extremely cool and extremely interesting to see how we navigate those extra ultimate ability costs and not being able to use like Tangled Web in here right off rip, because neither of them have ults, so you could bait people in with just like a Darkhold in here. But it's going to be really cool. I really like this room. But the main defense I'm seeing, and the only defense that's going to be really nice in here, is going to be that Superior 6 with Sus. The SD with Sus, and Superior 6 wouldn't be able to counter it either because Sus is there, but even if Sus wasn't there, Superior 6 does not have all of their ults turn 1, so their abilities are kind of neutered off rip. So we're going to have to find some interesting things, but as of right now, I would keep HIVEMIND and Super Scroll on offense for worst case in Stage 4. And what I would end up putting in defense is going to be Secret Defenders with a Cap America. So for Cap America, he's going to special turn 1, obviously, give out random energy to people, and then that energy will be doubled because they'll get an extra energy. So I feel like that could be pretty interesting. You could also run a Cap America Sam in here for another energy battery, just a different person depending on who you have bigger. But obviously Captain America is going to be part of that new Out of Time team, so bringing him up to G18 wouldn't be the worst idea. So yeah, Secret Defenders with Captain America will probably be my best bet, just so I don't have to use Scroll on defense. But only time will tell, and obviously I will keep updating as we go. But that's going to be it for room 4. Let's get into room number 5. Coming into room number 5, we've got Robotic Double tech characters. Whenever a tech character uses an ultimate ability, revive allied tech character at 100% health. This room immediately, I thought of Superior 6 on defense in here, because you have 3 tech characters when it comes to Goblin, Spider Slayer, and Doc Ock, and their ults are staggered a little bit. Obviously, Doc Ock is going to ult turn 1, but Spider Slayer is going to ult turn 2. Same with Doc Ock, so some people could be dead by that point when they do ultimate. Something you could do as well is take out Kraven and also take out Lizard here, and then you can run Mysterio and Vulture as 2 more tech characters, so the entire team is tech, which could be really, really interesting. I see that as Super Scroll is just going to absolutely destroy all of that if this is on defense. So I feel like they're going to be better in room 3, just like we talked about. Because in room 5 here, honestly, they don't get enough buffs here and enough things to help them out to kind of survive a Super Scroll, because with Super Scroll on offense here, he takes about 2.5 turns in a row and just can absolutely delete everybody on the field before they get going. The other team I was thinking about putting in here is going to be obviously Pegasus. The problem with Pegasus is they just get deleted by Eternals so quickly, so there's really no point in putting a Pegasus in here. If you see it, it's a gift. Pegasus on offense could be an interesting option depending on what you see in here, if something small enough. Since Rescue is going to obviously revive people with her ultimate and then could revive another person with her ultimate, so 2 at once could be interesting. And the only other thing I could see being put in here is going to be Gamma Dorm. Once again, the plug-and-play Gamma Dorm that just never seems to go away. 4 seasons worth now. Just to treat it like a blank room and throw Gamma Dorm in here, because, like I said, the tech characters that you can throw in here are kind of unless you're willing to put Superior 6 on defense, but I honestly think Superior 6 should always be on offense. And same with Sus, just in case you see Superior 6 on defense in 3 or 5 or even 1 like we talked about. But that's going to be it for room number 5, Robotic Double. Kind of a nothing room, honestly, unless we get some tech characters throughout the season here, but since it's only 6 weeks, I don't know if that's going to be happening. But let's get into room number 6. Coming into room number 6, we've got Health Insurance. On defense and offense, all characters on turn remove all positive effects from self and heal 10% of max health for each positive effect removed. So immediately, this room also screams Infinity Watch, just like it screams Infinity Watch in room 3, because they have Safeguard. So that's going to be my first thought there. So every time they take a turn, they won't clear their buffs, but they still will heal, which it is working like that on the test server. So Infinity Watch could be an interesting plug here if you prefer something different in room 3, like if you're running Superior 6 or Extreme with Rogue, like we talked about. The other option for room 6 is also going to be Darkhold. Darkhold here obviously has Safeguard as well, so they're going to have a lot of positive effects, which are going to not get removed because of the Safeguard. So they're an option as well. Again, we do have Darkhold answers for offense, and if you see Infinity Watch in here, Infinity Watch is going to be way easier to kill because they're not going to have those extra turns of Safeguard, Immunity, and Defense Up, so we can use the old counters we've been using with Big Time and Eternals. Another option here is treating it like a nothing burger room and just putting something big in here. If you do have a massive rebirth, you could throw a massive rebirth in here, just because they have so many positive effects and they're going to be healing a bunch. But rebirth gets countered by so many things, so I don't think that's going to be beneficial. To start off the season, it might be just like a Darkhold being thrown in here just for funsies, or anything else that has a lot of positive effects. I think over time, what's going to happen is the Out of Time team is going to be put in here because they're going to have a lot of positive effects and they're going to get a lot of healing for that. I think they're going to either be put in here or in room 3 as time goes on, but only time will tell and a lot of testing. But I feel like, honestly, you could also put Superior 6 in here because they're going to have Safeguard as long as you have that Craven, and you know they're going to have all the buffs from Lizard, so they won't clear buffs either. I still think Superior 6 is better in other rooms, but if you really want to throw people off with a Superior 6 that just will not die, that's an option here too. It's going to be the same counters that we've been talking about for Superior 6, which is going to be Sus, or it's going to be APOC, Doom, and Undying. The room rules could change it a little bit because they're going to have so much healing, but I don't really think so, honestly. But that's going to be it for stage number 6. There you have it, Season 6, my recommendations, my ways I'm thinking about countering these teams. Obviously, things are going to change as a lot of information comes in from Week 1. I will update this video after Week 1 of Cosmic Crucible and come out with a counter guide, probably after Week 1 or Week 2, since this season is so short. But I want to come out with a counter guide for Season 6, just like I did with Season 5, because people have absolutely loved it. So please be on the lookout for that. I will get it out as early as I can. I just want to make sure I have enough information so that you guys are getting the best information possible instead of just getting sparse information there quickly. So that's going to be it for my thoughts on season number 6. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. It looks like there's a lot of variability with this season and these rules, and a lot of different teams can go a lot of different places, which is going to be awesome. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below with anything that you think I missed or any counters that you're not clear on, and I'd be happy to help you in any way that I can. But until next time, this has been Duelim. Later, y'all.